What's up guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Jake. This is the JD Cars Automotive YouTube channel. Please be sure to go check us out at jd-cars.com. Follow us on Instagram at jd.cars, and please be sure to subscribe for more content. So today on JD Cars, we're going to be comparing the difference between stock F30 suspension and the new ISC N1 Coilovers, specifically designed for the F30. So right now, my BMW F30 over here is sitting on stock M Sport adaptive suspension. I will say I do have that option, which allows me to add a little bit of stiffness in the Sport or Sport Plus settings to give me a little bit more of a performance ride. However, every time I hop in that car, I just press that button and put it into Sport Plus, enhancing both my throttle response and my suspension. I almost never use the comfort mode because I like to drive pretty aggressively and I enjoy performance handling characteristics. So this video is being filmed prior to the installation of the new ISC N1 Coilovers. By the time you're seeing this video though, coilovers will be installed on the car, and we'll be comparing the ride characteristics from M adaptive suspension to these N1 coilovers. So I did something similar on my BMW E90 when I installed ISC's N1 coilovers. I mounted up a GoPro to show you guys just how planted the car was and how little the body rolled. However, I didn't show you what the car's handling characteristics were before. So today I've just rigged up a GoPro Hero 7 to the side of the F30 here, and I've got a pretty good angle. It's focusing in on the front wheel here, and we're gonna go for a drive. I'm gonna take the same route today as I will after the installation. Gonna hit a few bumps here and there, swerve the car back and forth, and see what reactions we can get out of this front wheel, and we'll be capturing them live on the GoPro. All right, people, let's do this. I have my iPhone set up here, recording and live feeding directly to me so I can see what the suspension's doing, as well as feel, and I can verbally tell you guys, of course. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so we're gonna be starting things off today in the BMW Comfort Mode. So the suspension's gonna be on its softer setting. It's not gonna be as rigid. Take a left-hand turn here. Oh, feared you guys might be falling around there on the tripod, but I'll hold you on the turns. All right, so we're coming around a turn here. We're gonna be coming up on our first big bump, or not big, but first noticeable bump coming up here. And we're gonna be turning right into the bump right now. As you can see, there's a lot of travel in the comfort mode. We're going to be going over a quite large bump right here. And as you guys can see, that wheel is just moving up and down very freely, which does definitely make for a comfortable ride, don't get me wrong, but it's not what you're looking for if you're looking to do any performance driving. Bit of a bumpy corner up here. Gonna be going over another small bump right about now. And this is gonna be a little bit of a higher speed section here. Oh, no it's not. Got a copper up here. All right, we're gonna go down one of the more twisty roads in my town here. And let's see how it does in the twisties here. This is about 45 miles an hour through these turns. Big sweeping left turn here. Look at this body roll. You can see the body roll there. Hard right turn here. There's definitely a noticeable amount of body roll through those turns. And now we're gonna do a hard brake test down this hill and we'll see how much the suspension squats in the front. So here we go, 45 miles an hour. So not terrible, car stays pretty level. We're gonna do the adverse effect now. I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 pull on a straightaway here. So let's see how much the suspension flexes back. All right, so as expected, we felt the suspension squat back quite hard in the rear and it lifted up in the front. I expect the car to sit more level on big pulls like that when we're sitting on coilovers. So let's start the lap over now, and I'm gonna put the car in Sport Plus. We'll see if there's any noticeable difference on camera. The difference is, you know, it's not tremendous. It's noticeable to myself as a driver, but it's not tremendous. So we're going back over the bridge now. So we'll see this bump once again. Quite a bit of movement there. We're not going to loop around quite just yet. I just thought of a great place to test the suspension at a little bit lower speed, but over some pretty harsh terrain. Our cemetery is fairly old, has a lot of roots pushing up the pavement, so it's a rough surface to be driving on. So we'll pull in here. And I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone, so we'll just go like 15, 20 miles an hour here. You can see the suspension moving a ton. Things reacting like a truck or a Jeep right now. Lots of movement in the suspension, especially over that big root right there. And we'll loop around. There's actually a bunch of little divots on the exit road here. So, yeah, there's one, there's another, there's another. So these divots will be a good test. Not expecting the coilovers to perform too well over these bumps, but it will do a good job of illustrating just how firm the ISC coilovers are. Now that we've completed our lap, that's a very easy route for me to remember. We're gonna put the car into sport. I actually have it set up in the computer now to only stiffen the suspension in sport mode, and then in Sport Plus, it stiffens up the suspension and increases throttle response. Let these folks cross. So we aren't changing the throttle response, we're just changing the suspension stiffness. So the adaptive M suspension should now be taking effect, and we're gonna take the same route as last time. I'm actually interested to see if there's a visual difference in the suspension. I know I feel it, but let's see if it makes a noticeable difference. Here's our first bump. I don't know, guys, I think it's moving less. Coming into our second heavy bump here. Yeah, it definitely travels a bit, but I think it's moving less. Coming around this rough corner again. Coming into another little bump here, probably won't notice it. I'm gonna do one more lap here and we'll just cut and overlay. But on this calm straight section, I'm gonna toss the car back and forth really hard just to see how much body roll we're getting with the stock suspension and how much it's decreased with the ISC coilovers. So I'm gonna turn around, we'll hit it this way. So because I forgot to do it in the first round, comfort, I've just put us back into comfort mode. I'm gonna hold the tripod so that we don't toss the camera back and forth, but here we go. People probably think I'm crazy, but there we go. There's test number 1. Alright guys, about a week later, the F30 here is now sitting on ISC N1 Coilovers. If you guys haven't seen it already, this is how I have it sitting right now. About 23.5 on all 3 corners. I have it slightly raked, about 1/8 of an inch higher in the rear than in the front, but I'm really happy with how it's sitting right now. And I'm also really happy with how it's riding. I have taken the past couple days here to get everything really dialed in, to make sure that nothing's really rubbing and to achieve the ride height I was looking for. And I've also given the car a couple days here just sitting around as well as driving around town, just to break in the springs and get it to sit at the height that you can expect it to sit. And I think this video will more accurately reflect the performance now that they're a couple days broken in. Of course, it's gonna take longer than that, but it's better than fresh out of the box. It'll give you a more accurate idea. So I've got the GoPro mounted up on the driver's door here, just like we did in the first test, in the before section of the test here. And I actually did not wash the car throughout the past week here because I wanted to keep the same exact location, and I also looked back at a video file and tried to get this lined up. So that should allow me to put things side by side, the before and after shots, but I'm sure these N1 coilovers are gonna speak for themselves. So without any further ado, let's get on the road and see what it looks like from the GoPro view. All right, so we're gonna be taking the same exact route as we took the first time around for our before test. All right, so coming up to our first little bump right here. Wow, yeah, they really don't move very much, do they? All right, next, I don't know, sizable bump coming up here towards the bridge. Yeah, it's really stiff. Not a whole lot of movement there. All right, coming up on a pretty sizable bump. Wow. And keep in mind, it's not that jarring in here. I'm perfectly comfortable. It's just pretty impressive. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's surprising that the suspension moves so little, but still provides a very comfortable ride. So bumpy section right here. It's a little rough in here, but not bad. All right, coming into a little bit of a bump here on deceleration. Yeah, really not much movement there at all. Coming up at a 45 miles an hour. Yeah, really not much movement over that bump either. I know this probably sounds pretty repetitive, but that's how it is. There is not much travel. I mean, there is a lot of drop. There's a decent amount of droop, I should say, but there isn't that much upwards travel. Making a turn here, you can see the body doesn't roll nearly as much. A little bit of a bump right here. And now we're going through a twisty section like before, about 40-45 miles an hour. Car is much more planted. It's like it's on rails. Like, amazing. Coming into a right-hand turn. You can see, really doesn't roll much at all. Now we're going to be coming into our downhill brake test from about 40-45 miles an hour. Gotta hold on to the camera for this one. Alright, 40 miles an hour to 0. Yeah, that's crazy. Looking at the camera, I couldn't see the car tilting back and forth at all. Alright, gonna be doing our 0 to 60 test here. Not necessarily for the speed, but so we can see if the front end lifts up. So here we go. Yeah, no. Previously with the stock suspension, the rear end would squat a lot, and then front end, or the nose I should say, the nose would pick up quite a bit. Definitely a very noticeable difference when accelerating. I think that was that was the first or second thing I noticed when I put the ISC coilovers in. It just shoots in a straight line. The back end doesn't squat down anymore. Front end doesn't pick up. It just goes. So I truly believe that improved our 0 to 60 because we're not losing energy to the suspension. It's getting put down more effectively to the road. And now, very important test, body roll. So I'm gonna swerve back and forth. Yeah, looking at the camera here, we're going 40 miles an hour, swerving very hard. The car just doesn't roll. It's amazing. It stays so planted. It's incredible. I'm turning around, I'm gonna hit that section one more time just to show you guys. I know I'm gonna be getting some looks from people like I'm a crazy person, but that's all right. It's for science. Again, it just stays so planted. And now swerving at 45. Amazing. Like, it's insane. It's actually crazy how well this grips the road. It's the best way I can say it. I'm just gonna say it again. It feels like you're on rails on a roller coaster. The car just handles amazingly. Combined with these Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, this car is insanely good at handling. And this has made me appreciate handling that much more. People often talk about how it doesn't matter if your car's, you know, stupid fast. What matters is if you can handle well. And I totally agree. Handling is very important, and the ISC coilovers have done an incredible job of improving the handling on this car. Yes, we've compromised some comfort, but I'm happy to make that compromise. I am just super impressed with the handling we've gained. So we're about to wrap up our test, but before we do, we're gonna do the final phase here, pull into the cemetery, which has a lot of uprooted pavement. And I know I was pretty confident going through here the first time at like 15, 20. I'm gonna stick to 12, feel more comfortable at, 10, maybe less. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, this is where you make a really big compromise. Bumps, pulling into gas stations, that sort of stuff. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how stiff it was until going over this stuff. But also you can see on the GoPro, really not a lot of travel there at all. And then I guess our final test here is gonna be on our way out, because the pavement has these little divots in it, or breaks in it. So that's a good test. Yeah. 15 miles an hour, like the first test. So I hope this footage, along with the before footage, is doing a good job of illustrating the difference, because it can be hard to visualize or, you know, feel the difference without actually riding on them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope the GoPro footage showing before and after the install did a good job of illustrating the difference in travel and stiffness and all the major differences that coilovers make in the ride of your car. I'll definitely have some more serious long-term review videos coming in the future here, covering the ISC N1 coilovers. Just need a couple weeks to ride on them and really feel how they ride and to see how they settle in over the next couple weeks. So overall, really happy with the installation of these ISC N1 coilovers. If you haven't already, please go check out the N1 coilover install video. Please go smash that like button, subscribe for more BMW content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on JD Cars.